Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
There we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, good morning.
And right next to you...
I need volume up 2 notches.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's try that. And right next to you is Dr. Nick Begich. Welcome, Dr. Begich.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here this morning, and I'm going to be with you for the first little bit. I got in pretty late last night, driving up from Southern California, so it's great to be here, and good to be on the air, and good to be with Richard again.
Yeah, and Dr. Begich, you were introduced to a lot of us who listened intently by our AM and FM radio receivers and shortwave receivers a couple decades ago. You've been on thousands of broadcasts, and I remember hearing you quite often on a man I consider the best broadcaster in the business, Art Bell. And, I learned a lot from you just listening to what you were talking about. And one of the things that you talked about a lot was HAARP, the HAARP system. Right. It's the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It's in Alaska. At least it started in Alaska, as I remember. Can you tell us what it is and why this is a weapon of mass destruction? Sure.
It's the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project started as a Navy and Air Force project, and then later became fully Air Force controlled, and then later was turned over to DARPA. And more recently has been passed back to the University of Alaska Geophysical Institute. It was kind of made a big circle, but the contractors are actually, in fact, primarily military contractors that are actually still using the facility, just under the guise of being operated by the Geophysical Institute.
Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that one of the advantages of this system as a defense weapon is that it operates at the speed of light. So, for example, let's say an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, were headed our way, we could take it out pretty early in its flight. As a matter of fact, we could take it out on the ground if we wanted to, right?
Right. It can be used in a number of different ways. It's essentially a radio frequency transmitter. Radio frequency can be focused and transmitted in a way that allows you to do exactly that. You can disrupt the avionics of electronic equipment. You can do over-the-horizon radar, a lot of applications using the very same technology.
Okay, that would be on the positive side. What about the negative side? What can this system do that we should be concerned about? We walking around on the ground, our cats, our dogs, the deer, the other animals on the planet, on the receiving end of these radio frequency signals?
Well, it can disrupt living organisms, certainly. That's one of the concerns we've raised from the very beginning. The idea that you can affect living organisms with radio frequency energy in the way that this is being managed is absolutely there as either a side effect or, in fact, a deliberate effect. RF can be utilized, radio frequency energy, as a weapon and be directed at individuals for very specific applications, disrupting living organisms, disrupting human beings is certainly part of that.
Dr. Begich, are we talking about immediate effects? For example, could this system take down a person in a matter of seconds, as a projectile could, like a bullet fired from a rifle or a handgun? Or are we talking about long-term effects, or are we talking about all of the above?
It can be either way, long-term as a side effect or a deliberate effect. There was actually radio frequency dosimetry handbook was put together by the University of Utah to actually look at radio frequency energy for disrupting specific or various organisms of the human body. And so that's, in fact, one of the things that have been developed years ago. HAARP is just a huge system. I mean, when you think about radio broadcasting systems, this is the biggest in the world. It has the ability to focus or direct the energy in a similar way or by analogy to what a laser does with light, concentrates energy into a relatively small area, and that's what HAARP can do with radio frequency energy. Focus it into a small area as opposed to allowing it dissipate with distance, which is generally what you consider if you consider radio frequency at all. And so you're handling it differently, you're manipulating it differently for these various effects. And the health effects, one of the things that we're very, very concerned about and have been for some time.
Dr. Begich, when we talk about this system, is it steerable? Can we aim this? Can we track with this electronically? Can we point the direction of these antenna arrays so that we could literally hit something far away?
You can slew the beam a little bit. You can direct it a little bit, but generally you're covering pretty huge areas, hemispheric areas. You can direct it to a relatively small area, but you're still talking a region, not like a pinpoint on the ground. Just the way the thing is set up. You can reflect a signal. You can create with two of these transmitters almost a mirror-like effect using energy itself, and then with one transmitter create sort of a mirror in the sky. The other transmitter focus energy into that mirror and then reflect it virtually anywhere around the planet.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that aircraft have been disrupted to the point where they've lost their ability to navigate and operate and have fallen out of the sky as a result of
that is possible. In fact, that is one of the side effects, is they're supposed to shut this down anytime any aircraft are within the region. For exactly that reason, it will interfere just in its normal operation with the onboard avionics and cause them to malfunction just by operating. It just creates so much disturbance. And most modern aircraft are now fly-by-wire, so everything is radio controlled. They're not controlled so much by cabling and hardwiring. It's mostly by RF signals telling various motors and flaps what to do. So interference, you can see why that would be such a big deal. Why you turn off your cell phones and other electronics when you get on planes today are for that reason. You're not talking anywhere near the power of systems like ARP.
Dr. Begich, when we talk about this, it's quite frightening to a lot of us in this broadcast classroom today, that we're talking about something that you can't see, something that you can't feel, but if you're in an airplane, it can knock you out of the sky. We're talking about weather modification. Is there a combination of effects that are delivered with the result of the chemical spraying of our skies and the addition of these pulsed radio frequency wavelengths?
So the question is, you're asking me specifically,
is there an additive effect of the material that's being sprayed in our skies, the chemical trails, and HAARP?
The interaction of that. Yeah, you have some of that going on. I mean, I'm not tracking the contrails, chemtrails issue as such. Other people are doing that. You don't really need any chemicals to interact with HAARP to create effects, but you certainly can. Radiochemistry tells us that every element, every compound has unique radio frequency resonances that where you can send energy in, and then you can kind of create an amplified effect or create varying different effects. You can create ducting effects where metallic particles are used in the atmosphere to move the energy in a certain way. All of that you can can do experimentally, probably they have done, but in terms of using it as a general instrument, you don't need anything in the atmosphere. Some ideas that have been thrown around by others in the past with the idea that if you put certain elements into, say, a water supply or a certain environment, the people that ingest it then have that chemical compound available within their body. You can then trigger poisoning sort of effects, or effects that give people the effect of being poisoned, but blood work doesn't show an adequate amount of chemicals in the body to create those situations. So it goes down as kind of the mystery illness, but it's the RF interacting with those chemicals that give all of those symptoms of poisoning, and yet don't leave the residual effects of chemicals in the body in any great concentration.
My understanding is that these frequencies, these pulse frequencies, could be used to heat up a cold front and stop a tornado almost in its path. But can it also be used to create tornadoes?
Right. This was actually something that was developed by Eastland, the inventor of HAARP, and then amplified beyond that. What he determined was that you could, in fact, heat a warm front, as an example. In the formation of a tornado, you've got the warm front, the cold front coming in. That difference in the temperature creates that shearing action. That twister then forms. If you could heat the cold front and create a more balanced situation, you would not get the shear, so you wouldn't have the tornado. Or conversely, if you added more heat into the already heated region, you would, in fact, trigger a more severe tornado. And work was actually done on this for tornadoes specifically for FEMA and NASA by Eastland using HAARP-type instruments, and also space-based lasers to try and accomplish something similar. He also did work in this area of weather modification for the European Space Agency and others, all the way up until the time he died in, I think it was 2007 or 2008. So
when I think back to World War I, it was bullets and bombs. World War II, bullets and bombs. And, most of the wars that we've been involved in, we have leveled and destroyed those who we're in conflict with. And with this weapon, we're just talking about just killing life and leaving the infrastructure intact, aren't we?
Right. It's a very different kind of technology, and one that is advancing in what is called a revolution in military affairs. So
Nick Begich.
Even the way we fight wars will be changed.
Dr. Nick Begich, earthpulse.com, earthpulse.com. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Go to GCNteam.com or call 855-GCN-MALL. That's 855-426-6255. GCNteam.com or 855-426-6255. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Class, Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. And if you'd like to go to his website, docram.com, DOCRAM.com. That'll take you right to his Facebook page. And that's where I am today. So, Dr. Richard Allen Miller, is it you and me for the rest of the broadcast?
I don't know. Stay tuned on that. Nick got in at 3 in the morning. It's pouring down rain and creepy here with weather. And so he's got less than 4 hours of sleep, and he's doing another radio as we speak from a local radio station here in Grants Pass. So stay tuned. Whether it's or not, his coffee is sitting on the table over there undrunk.
So, Rick,
my friend.
Rick, how did you meet?
The person responsible for actually bringing me out of retirement. And he published my ESP book. That is a book that would never have happened had not Nick reached down and brought me up to Eagle River to spend 3 weeks with him. I was still doing drugs. I was still all messed up from my little girl dying of leukemia. And what happened was that Nick and Duncan Rhodes out of Nexus Magazine reached down, brought me up to Alaska for 3 weeks, and Nick and I got to know each other and tried to co-author a book together called The Brain Spa. Now, that's using functional MRIs and things like that to rotor-rooter people. And it turned out Nick just simply didn't have the technical background, and so he turned me loose, and what I ended up writing was Power Tools. And that's how the Brain Spa will eventually happen, probably with Nick and I, because originally Power Tools was going to be called the Brain Spa, and what it ended up doing was all the technology I developed for SEALs. By the way, I just this morning completed workbook number 2 for the large Hollywood event down in March. Dedicated it to Grace Thorne because she got the whip out to make me do it. It's called Can You Live Off the Grid for 30 Days? And it runs it down chapter and verse as a workbook on things you need to prep for. And we're going to do that when Matt Stein and I do the Urban Survival Skill Workshop in Hollywood. Right now, that event has got over 600 people registered for the Friday event alone. And Matt is expecting 200 to 600 people for the 2-day, 8 hours each day workshop. It's the Paramount Studios and a big rock station are co-sponsoring it. And what just happened yesterday is that Harley Davidson Canada called and wants to do a tour across Canada, co-sponsoring the Urban Survival Workshops up in Canada as Harley Davidson. So stay tuned on whether or not we do that or not. I have to get my leathers out and my brass knuckles and make them look good. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Rick, do you ride a motorcycle?
I did. I don't. I'm now just driving my pocket rocket, that 1976 280Z. I used to do Bonnevilles. The only Harley I ever had, I was up front with them, was a Thumper. I had a 250 and mostly did Ducatis. And this was before Kawasaki and all the rest of those existed. I had Bultacos. You know, I did a lot of dirt bikes because I lived in Pullman, where I was doing my undergraduate work, and had dirt bikes back then. And then I had a big Bonneville when I was an Iron Lord out of Tacoma.
Now you're talking about a...
one time, man. Now I'm just old and grumpy.
You're talking about a Triumph Bonneville 750?
Yeah,
650?
no, it's 650. They didn't have 750s back then. And I had a Norton and a Matchless also. But the old days...
Some of the greats.
I was into speed. I'm not floppy, man.
Rick, you know, we were talking about weather modification with Dr. Nick Begich, and his book is Angels Don't Play This Harp, H-A-A-R-P. And it's quite a frightening discussion when we talk about sending these high-powered, high and low-frequency wavelengths up at the sky.
You know, here's the bad news on all of this. Just cutting to the chase. Esland patterned that system off the work I did with Alan Frey. And so the bandwidth they used for comm systems was 0.3 to 3 gigahertz, what I have defined as synthetic telepathy. In other words, the frequency band that is currently used is the choice for mind control.
And that's where we'll discuss mind control, the use of these frequencies when we come back. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, DocRam.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
You're fired. According to the Small Business Administration, 75% of small businesses plan to eliminate jobs or reduce workers' hours to part-time. You're fired. According to Gallup, the unemployment rate recently jumped to nearly 9%, and the underemployment rate hit a staggering 17.9%. You're fired. 1 out of 3 young adults and 1 out of 2 recent college graduates are underemployed. Hello, I'm Keith Abel, a pharmacist and a home business entrepreneur. In 2011, I became one of those statistics myself. Instead of looking for another job in corporate America, I joined Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. We're creating steady incomes for ourselves and would like to show you how to do the same. If you want to supplement your current income, replace your income, so you don't have to become one of the statistics, then give me a call toll-free at 866-257-3105, 866-257-3105. You're fired. Don't wait till you hear those words. Start creating an extra income today. 866-257-3105.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and DocRam.com. You know, Rick, I was thinking about how powerful some of these transmitters are that we have on Earth. And a really powerful AM radio station is 50,000 watts. And in Russia, there is a transmitter that's 300,000 watts, and then they've got another one that's 2,500 kilowatts. And those are considered to be, the 2,500 kilowatt station is considered to be the most powerful transmitter or broadcasting station in the world.
In that
and then
frequency band.
Yes, and then you go look at HAARP.
Got to make that qualification.
Yes.
When you're at low band wavelengths, you need more power to slam through air, molecules, clouds, dust, bodies, whatever. Whereas microwave, Nick just walked back in the room. Would you like to pick this back up while he's still alive?
Sure.
Well, he's going to go back to bed shortly, man. He got in at 3. So here's Nick again.
And Dr. Begich, it's great to
glad to be back with you. You know, this is what happens when you're traveling, right? I mean, I'd never schedule my own radio, and now I've got 2 scheduled in the same instant, right? Because I wouldn't did that. But in any case, it is good to be here in Southern Oregon and organizing this with Richard, who apparently you have on from time to time. So, Richard, and his area is pretty similar to mine in terms of science, but we're in different areas in terms of what we really like. But it's always
Rick and I have been broadcasting together for years. He's come to our farm several times, and we spend time together. So Rick and I know each other quite well.
Yeah.
And we were talking about a very powerful radio station in Russia that's 300 kilowatts, and they've got another one that's considered the most powerful broadcasting station in the world, which is 2,500 kilowatts. And then you compare that to HAARP, and aren't we in the 3 billion watt range?
Right, and it's
bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
So there's a big calculation that goes into that, and essentially, you you have to think about HAARP a little bit differently than when you start comparing it to other radio frequency transmitters, because when you think about how they're organized, those radio transmitters broadcast a signal. As soon as it leaves the broadcast antenna, it begins to decrease in its density. The further it gets, the less dense it gets, just like the analogy of the flashlight on the wall. You know, when you put that flashlight on the wall, you see that large beam on the other end, versus a laser where you see that very narrow beam and the energy is kept compact. The same we can do with the HAARP instrument, only with radio frequency energy. So it's that compacted radio frequency energy that becomes the tool that you're manipulating for these various effects. So it's quite a bit different when you think about it than a normal radio transmitter as such. And this is an array, so it's a field. So imagine 180 60-foot tall antennas sitting in the field, and by firing them in a specific sequence, if you could visually see it, it would look like a corkscrewing kind of motion of energy that starts out pretty broad at the base and then gets smaller and smaller as you get higher and higher. And that is, in fact, the essence of what HAARP is doing, and that would be called a cyclotron resonance kind of effect if you were able to see that visually.
Dr. Begich, when you talk about this effect, are you suggesting that that's why we have this installation in Alaska, because that's the northernmost place that we could put it in the United States, and these corkscrew wavelengths, if you will, go from north to south?
Well, this is in fact what happens by locating them at the polar regions. This is where the natural magnetic field lines intersect the Earth, and many remember this when you were kids in school. If you think back on the magnet, the bar magnet, and you'd throw the little shavings of metal and you'd see how these magnetic lines look, and you see those lines, essentially the energy is moving from the South Pole to the North Pole. What this does is by injecting the energy close to where the lines intersect the Earth, it takes less power because they're just closer. And then what they act as is, just as you implied, like a waveguide. So that corkscrewing energy wraps itself around that natural energy flow, but instead of going from south to north, now that energy is moving around that guide going from north to south, and it in fact creates what would be called a shielding effect, where you can actually have an effect on any electronic device going in and out of that region, whether it be a satellite or an ICBM or even an aircraft. And anything entering that where those charged particles are being accelerated, what they'll run into is in fact a situation that the electronics, the avionics would be screwed up and the aircraft would in fact crash.
Do you think that's happened? Do you think that that's why some of these planes have fallen out of the sky mysteriously or have disappeared?
You know, here's the problem with it, is no one's monitoring it individually. And so the answer is, could it happen? The answer is absolutely yes. Did it happen? I can't say without something more empirical than what we've seen, and there's no one monitoring HAARP individually. Now, I will say this, going back to the 1980s, there was a document called The Revolution of Military Affairs and Conflict Short of War, which in fact was talking about this very kind of technology. In fact, they even used the example of catching a plane coming in, a small plane that maybe they suspect is carrying terrorists or drug traffickers. So they unleash a technology that knocks out the avionics, knocks out the aircraft, it crashes. And then it was the article got into this whole thing about, these are the technologies that this century is yielding, and this is put together by the U.S. Army War College. And what they said about these kinds of technologies, using that as an example, they kind of forget about things like, juries and judges and these little inconveniences, I guess, when they target something like this. And so the whole discussion was, well, we have the technology, shouldn't we use it? And the answer was, well, not if it violates the Constitution. And so that article of the U.S. Army War College debates the merit of violating the Constitution in order to advance weapons systems. And instead of saying, oh, don't do it, let's not violate the rules, they came to the opposite conclusion and said, well, let's create an environment of fear through international terrorism, international drug trafficking, and then that will allow us to advance these weapon systems with the full approval of the American public. That was written in the 1980s to advance what is now the Revolution of Military Affairs, a change where we go from bullets, bombs, and ordnance to electromagnetic weapon systems that that you can't even see. That is the revolution. That is what they were speaking about, and that is what we have today. HAARP is just another example or symptom of that direction in which wars are being fought and will be fought in the future.
When you mention bullets, bombs, and ordnance, there's obviously visual evidence when those are deployed.
Right.
Is there evidence of a deployment of these radio frequencies or pulsed frequency weapons? For example, if you're not measuring it at that time, can you destroy or really make life, can you make people sick, animals sick, and just have a plague unleashed that just happens and no one knew why or
yes, you
how?
can. You can create that effect using RF. In fact, it was Robert O. Becker in one of his books was talking about this very idea of being able to do exactly that. And it would be quite simple, actually. Everybody has certain chemical elements within the body, or you could introduce something a little more exotic that only that population would have. And then what you would do is send a radio frequency signal in that resonates at that same chemical or chemical compound, and what you do is, in fact, trick the body into thinking it just got overloaded with a toxin, so it begins to react, show all the symptoms of, say, iodine poisoning, as an example, would be fairly easy to do. At the end of that, people check the thyroid, check the blood work, and everything looks normal. Thyroid looks normal. Iodine appears in the blood to be normal, yet you have all these symptoms of iodine poisoning, as an example. That would be classified then as a mystery illness because there'd be no logical reason for it. Because most physicians follow a chemical model, not an electromagnetic model, when analyzing the body, and therefore there really wouldn't be very many people that could even determine what had happened. And so I think that's really what we're looking at with that type of technology, something very different and very difficult to detect.
Here in Missouri, we have, at the state level, some sound cannons that can produce very loud frequencies that can actually make a person wet his pants. It's that powerful, and it's a weapon to disband, let's say, groups of people.
Right. This is using acoustic signals, and there's a lot of different ways to use sound-related signals. You can use what's called acoustic heterodyning, where you can take two signals from two different broadcasting instruments, point them at an individual, and they'll create a cancellation effect where that individual will, say, hear voices in the head or hear alarms or sirens that nobody else in the room hears. Heterodyning a signal, you can do a lot with it. You can target an individual with messaging or with an acoustic signal, a powerful acoustic signal. You can basically bring people to their knees, disrupt their internal organs. You can do a lot of things. Riot control purposes are often the guise in which these technologies are introduced, and they're introduced as so-called non-lethal weapons. But keep in mind the definition of a non-lethal weapon is, according to the international bodies that regulate this stuff, is a weapon that doesn't kill more than 25% of the time. So, I guess if you're in the 25%, it matters, but if you're not, it doesn't. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Even things like poisonous gas or gases they use for riot control purposes, many people don't realize, but even as a non-lethal, they kill people every year because there are people with lung disorders, asthmatics, and others that react quite differently than, say, a normal, healthy person. So each of these technologies, again, under the marketing guise of non-lethal, are in fact quite lethal. They just make you feel good when you're discharging them. It's like tasers. They end up being overused because people think, oh, well, we're not doing anything, but if you got a pacemaker and you get hit by one, you might have a different opinion of that. So again, lethal and non-lethal is pretty blurry in a modern world, but it makes people, according to the weapon, feel good, I guess.
Dr. Nick Begich is with us, earthpulse.com. His book, Angels Don't Play This HAARP, HAARP. Fascinating, frightening discussion. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Biochemistry determines your mood, memory, energy, and endurance. Your body's primary metabolic function is to make protein. One World Whey is a unique, non-denatured protein. This enables your body to have virtually 100% utilization, whereas typical whey protein powders offer no more than 18% utilization of protein. One World Whey also delivers life-giving frequencies to your cells. The net result for so many people is improved energy, mood, and elimination of pain from inflammation.
This technologically enhanced One World Whey has been really amazing for me. I'm 36 years old, and for the past several years, I've been struggling with lack of energy, drive, and stamina. And after just 2 weeks on this product, I'm feeling so much more energy. My yoga practice has deepened, and as a massage therapist, I'm able to see more clients than I've been able to in years. I've never felt results that quick with anything I've ever taken.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Class, we've been talking with Dr. Richard Allen Miller and Dr. Nick Begich, and we've been talking about electromagnetic warfare. And is Dr. Begich with us?
Yes, I am. I'm going to stay with you till the top of the hour, then I'm going to hand it back to Richard for that second hour.
Wonderful. I'm delighted to have you on the air with us. Dr. Begich, can we trigger chemical reactions in the atmosphere as a result of aiming electromagnetic pulses at the ionosphere?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the things that Eastland said in his original patents, and to me personally before he passed on, was this whole idea that, the idea of triggering chemical reactions. One of the things that just mystified him, like the ozone depletion issues and some of the pollutants that are in the air that occur there. Radio frequency energy, if sent in just the right way, can actually precipitate particles out of the atmosphere, get rid of them, or in fact create reactions where ozone is replenished. And yet none of these technologies are ever even considered, at least not on the front end, of what HAARP was possibly could be used for. And yet, if you really buy into the whole theory of global warming based on ozone depletion, well, wouldn't this be a simple solution? I mean, really, when you start to look at the technology, radio frequency energy being used in this way, we just never had a delivery system. HAARP gives us that system. We can use it for these kinds of applications, and we ought to at least study them, at least understand how these systems work and how these systems actually function in the broader scale. And so we could use things like HAARP for exactly that kind of purpose. What Eastland said about it was that you really have to be careful, because when you start manipulating weather situations, you can have tremendous effects that are unanticipated and unexpected, and that is one of the areas of caution. He did not feel that the military was a responsible party, that they should engage in this kind of experimentation, because they would just take too many risks, and they're doing it in the dark without the proper oversight.
Dr. Begich, back in the early 1980s, I was a founder of a company that developed technology, revolutionary technology for satellite communications receiver equipment. And I was at a convention in Washington, D.C., and Al Gore showed up. And I thought, why in the heck is Al Gore here looking at our technology, a little three-man company? Why is he looking at that? And then, obviously, all these years later, I've connected the dots that the government or governments seem to want to learn about the newest technologies so they can dominate in those fields, so they can dominate their position in the globe. Do you see that?
It's a good observation, because when you look at what makes democratic republics, democracies, dictatorships, governments generally strong in the 21st century is, in fact, the command and control of high technology. I mean, if you look around the world, if you don't have high technology, you're living in the third world. You're not in the first world. As a consequence, within republics such as ours, people need to be at least knowledgeable, not so much of, like engineers, how to build all this stuff, but we ought to at least have the general knowledge, conceptual knowledge of what these technologies do, and so that we can guide them within a republic, within our form of government, to some logical conclusion, in terms of development. The problem is all of the research is classified. The congressional oversight, if you want to call it that, is also classified. So congressmen, U.S. senators go into a room, they're briefed by Pentagon officials. None of them have any science background, even ask the Pentagon officials any intelligent questions, because you actually have to have a background to form a foundation of knowledge so you can actually be an oversight kind of role. Well, we don't have that in the Congress. So they get the dog and pony show, they buy whatever they're sold, and that's the end of it. So they can't take notes in those closed conferences, they cannot have staff, and they cannot talk about what they learn outside of it without facing charges of treason. There is no oversight in the U.S. government.
Dr. Nick Begich is with us, and class, if you'd like to go to his website, earthpulse.com, and when we come back, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is going to be with us, and we're going to talk about the conference and the information that will be presented this week with Nick Begich and Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Nick Begich, thank you so much for being with us. Class will be back right after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
And we're all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Rick, thanks so much for being with us and introducing our broadcast
easy.
classroom.
You know, that's easy. Nick's been my friend for a very long time. He basically is the one that actively went out to bring me out of retirement. You know, I had not been in the physics world for 40 years. I've been mostly farming. And when my little girl died, I just stopped everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the ESP book is his, and then he did the forward in both the ESP and Power Tools, the forward in both of those books. And then he's also going to do the forward in the Non-Local Mind. And Klipner, and my mentor, is going to have some words too. I'm just came out with a brand new book. Workbook number 2 is on my computer going to press before Hollywood. And it's on survival skills. And that's where it's a handout for basic tools of things you need to start thinking about immediately. Now, we were talking about HARP and synthetic telepathy and Nick's concept of heterodyning, where you can put audio, low band frequency voices onto microwave. And the microwave will go right through the skull. It'll cause the temporal lobes to heat up, and they begin to ring. And when they do, you can hear the heterodyne of frequencies. And you can hear words in your head, just like Son of Sam. Now, here's the big defense against all of that. It isn't going to be aluminum foil. Wrapping your head like they did in that one movie, kids sitting in front of the TV with their heads in foil. Look, what you're going to do is that you have to be responsible for the thoughts you choose to entertain. This is the next level of spiritual growth for everyone. You have to, whether you got your creepy thoughts from your parents or they're from aliens, it doesn't matter. You have a choice. And that's what made you special. Show me. Show me now. Show me how you can do that. It's not easy. That's why saints have talked about training the mind that take 30 and 40 years. You know, it's like there are shortcuts with electronic enhancements, brain drivers, and things like that. They're not as good as old school, where you just go in a cave and you just do due diligence like a Buddhist monk. This is the new world, and with it comes New York. Right now, I don't know this morning if you saw the post this morning on the radioactive decay that's coming out of Indian Point, 22 miles from New York City.
Pretty serious.
I'm not sure, but what, it's already in their water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, Fukushima, the news this morning about Fukushima is that all the trees in Japan are showing mutations in this lifetime. That means not new trees, the old trees are showing mutations. It's happening right in front of us, and we're being distracted with Syrian jets and Russian muscle and what is that? Oh, yeah, China flexing on those islands. It's all distraction. It's we're not focused on what's important. And right now, the radiation coming down in America from Fukushima that is, quote, still out of control. It's time for, international concern. Where's the United Nations? You know, there's your New World Order. I challenge them to start focusing on Fukushima rather than dominant world control. There's just a place to start it. And be grateful for having done that. You know? It's values.
Rick, you're talking about the trees, and we've been talking about that here on the farm.
Well, everything's showing it now. Get a grip.
Yes.
It's slow, like boiling the frog. The slower you turn on the heat, you don't notice it until it's too late. That's called boiling the frog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what Rick is talking about, class, if you haven't heard this, you can put a frog in a pot of water, and you can just slowly increase the heat until you boil that frog. But if you take a frog and you drop him into some really hot water, he'll try to jump out. But if you slowly do it, he just doesn't seem to notice and just dies from the heat. If you slowly do it,
that's what's complacency. And again, coming back to my original theme, becoming more responsible for the thoughts you choose to entertain. We are basically creating our own nightmare. Microwave. It's a communication thing. And the reason they're doing it in microwave band is it requires less power to go further. It is not attenuated or absorbed. It passes through anything, pretty much. So, except the organs which have dosimetry, or LD50 ratio. Lethal dose 50. That means this level of exposure, 50% of you get to die.
Rick, there's some natural electromagnetic radiation that occurs. But my understanding is that man has created 200 million times the natural radiation. So we've created more electromagnetic radiation than is naturally occurring by 200 million times.
Well, you forget. The atmosphere is our shield, actually, and if you were to be in space and try to just go from the Earth to Mars, you wouldn't make it from the lethal doses of radiation that you would be exposed to. Won't happen. You can't do it that way. We have no shielding. That's that. We know that for a fact. It isn't like Buzz Corbett and Space Cadets. And I'm telling you, the sun right now is broken. That's why we have bad connection, and the quality of the voice is bad. It's right now we're in the middle of a massive CMA. I'm surprised the media hasn't said anything because I couldn't even talk to New Zealand yesterday.
Rick, at 12:12, just past noon yesterday, Central Time, 12:12 in the afternoon, we had a massive, massive explosion that we heard south of the farm, south of Wright County, Missouri. Massive explosion. I was on a four-wheeler working fencing yesterday. And, you know, these four-wheelers aren't necessarily quiet. So we've got the rumbling of the engine, and I felt this explosion on a four-wheeler with the engine running. A few days before that, I was on an old Ford tractor, a 1974 three-cylinder Ford diesel tractor. It's a Ford 3000, about 47 horsepower, small tractor. And I was dragging a 10-foot chain harrow, and I felt two massive explosions. And I felt it while I was on this tractor bouncing around with the diesel engine roaring. Mrs. Finelli was on another tractor, and our son was on yet another tractor, and we all felt these explosions. Rick, do you know anything about what's going on with these explosions?
No, I haven't heard about that one, but I've been remiss in terms of trying to stay current right now. Mostly, I've looked at energy news. That's pretty serious. It has an outline of everything going on with nuclear radiation. And what's happening basically is that all the old plants all over the United States that are over the 20 years old are all beginning to leak. And in North Carolina, I mean, the TVA has got a bunch of them right now near Asheville and other places that are starting to leak. And like New York City, it's going to require a way of bugging out because that place where you're living may no longer be habitable as a radioactive hotspot. It'll be just like in the movies. Now, this is a call to action for turning that switch off. That's my humble assessment. Even before we even think about military and all of that, I just posted on Facebook this morning a brand new premiere trailer on a new movie coming out called about America being taken over by the military. It's an interesting supposition, how it breaks and the kinds of people involved.
Can you share some of that with us, Rick? Can you share some of that with us?
Well, it's on Facebook. There it is this morning. DocRam.com. Go watch it for yourself. It's a brand new movie that's coming out.
Okay. And you've got something else. Yeah, DocRam.com, DocRam.com. That'll take you right to Dr. Richard Allen Miller's Facebook page. Rick, you've got a link called America's Future Trends, 6 major trends that shape America's future.
That one looked for you. Yeah, that was a pretty good one, huh? That came from some friends of mine at JPL.
Jet Propulsion Laboratories.
Well, I just work alphabets. I am appalled at what is actually literally happening around me. I'm appalled. On a personal level, personal level.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's everywhere, Rick. Everyone I know is impacted by the threats all around us. I'm talking about people are trying to figure out how they're going to survive, how they're going to keep their homes, how they're going to feed their families, whether they're going to be able to keep their jobs. The stress is causing people to crack, if you will. And I'm wondering if some of this is enhanced by some of these electromagnetic frequencies that are all around us, this 200 million times more electromagnetic radiation that's on our planet caused by our governments and corporations who have transmitters. I mean, if you look, antennalocator.com, we've got 2 antennas in our little hamlet, but if you go to Northern Virginia and you pick a city, you'll probably find about 300 known antennas in a small city. That's pretty serious. I mean, I'm sure you can hook up an antenna and measure this electromagnetic radiation with a meter easily. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to kdarmor.com. Come and take it.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. Rick, you know, there's some discussion that Nick Begich was involved in. I believe he was saying, not on this broadcast, but publicly, that a charging bull, you know, a bull, an animal, was stopped with brain disruption, you know, electromagnetic pulses. Are you aware of those kinds of
yes, that's what
technologies?
Delgado started working with in the lab next to me in 1970. Now, how many years is that?
Well,
45 years. I was doing those researches. That's Nick's book on mind control has a whole chapter, essentially, on the work I did. chapter 1. And I'm going to just say something. Mind control has many faces, and it's not what you would think it is, like hypnosis. Hypnosis can make you do things you don't want to do, but the only way they can do that is by tricking you. And that's, misdirection, so you're compliant. Now, that's what we're talking about in terms of responsibility of thoughts that are constantly going through your mind or that you're reading on the internet. If I were an alien, and I were advanced alien, I would somehow selectively respond to different people differently than Boolean algebra. Oh, and guess what? That was discovered on the internet in 1996. That's called Alien Presence on the Internet, a paper I wrote about Time Magazine interviewing the top 10, cyber city individuals at that time, mostly out of what they call Silicon Valley. Now, I'm going to say something. There is something more going on here in terms of our concepts of information and communication. And actually, it has many faces, double-edged. I'm going to, again, remind everybody about that new movie that is playing right now called Fifth Wave. If you haven't seen it, it's time you have a sense of the possibilities of how it's going to play. And as far as I can tell, I think we've been invaded by something, because what's happening is creepy and terraforming. And there are life forms that, like Chernobyl and Fukushima, it's called black goo. The thing that they're talking about is the primordial life form that came out of galactic center, and that ours is a little different than something else's, that kind of black goo that they talk about. It has a black slime mold. It is thriving in Fukushima and now Chernobyl. How does that work? How does that work?
Rick, you're talking about being compliant. I'm seeing more and more individuals who are just saying things like, I don't want to make waves. I just want to go along to get along. I just don't want to cause problems. I can't believe it. I just can't believe that so many people.
That's why there's going to be a separation and blood. There are going to be people that are going to have mass extinction shortly. And that's been programmed by that document you were referring to earlier, and NASA, etc. Now, I don't know what it all means yet, and I think that there are some things you just simply can't prepare for, so what you're going to do is not have it be a goal as a journey. And journey now implies something quite different in terms of the way you grade yourself. And just as I spoke like this, the sun in my universe just came out for a moment. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. The glass is half full, and it's already half fixed. It's your thought forms.
On that line of thinking, Cliff High, H-I-G-H, was on this broadcast, halfpasthuman.com, the web bot. He was on this broadcast.
Another Washington boy.
I asked him, so who are we? Meaning, those of us doing what we do.
Right, man?
Well, here's what he said. Here's what he said. I asked him who we are, meaning you and me and Norm Shealy and the rest of those who think as we do, including our class. He said, we're the leaders. We're the leaders. As this all falls apart, the others won't make it, and we will be in the leadership position. Class, think about that. You're the leaders. You are the leaders. Laura in California is with us. We'll take your call as soon as we come back from these few short commercial announcements.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Serious investors and traders want to make 81% return in 60 seconds? Use the same secret algorithm professional hedge fund managers use to make billions of dollars of profits. Turn $250 into $4,903 in just 7 clicks of a mouse. Our tool is so simple that my 82-year-old grandmother can use it to make insane stock market profits. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. Watch the free video before the hedge funds make us take it down. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. From the Robert Allen System, current returns not indicative of future results.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
makeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Class, very, very quickly, we've got a special meetup on Monday at Jimmy's Egg. I'll be there. I'll be hosting the meetup Monday at Jimmy's Egg, Springfield, Missouri, 4:45 to 8 p.m. Jeremy Beninati will be there. Nicole Beninati will be there. They're going to be telling their story about what happened when their neighbor called 911 and Child Protective Services on them. Jeremy was arrested, put in jail for 14 days, lost his job, and they're not going to stop. They're going to expose this corruption, and they're going to expose what happens when no one from the government is willing to help them. I mean, they're going to name the names and give out the phone numbers, and they want us to take action. It's an outrage. This story is an absolute outrage. And who are they? They're my neighbors. They're my neighbors. So that story is not going away. And if you'd like to be part of learning about that firsthand, that's Monday at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri, USA Prepares Meetup. I'll be hosting. Laura in California, you're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome.
Hi there. How are you doing this morning, everybody?
Very well. And Laura's a USA Prepares instructor. Welcome.
Hi. Okay, guys. Doctor, you were talking last week, I believe, about water filters and radiation being too small or something that you can't.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yes,
Okay, and so I have a question for you because we're always talking about water, and I saw that you were talking also about fluorine water, structured water.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
And then, and I also have something else I wanted to ask you. There's this new, maybe it's not new, but it's new. I just heard about it recently in the last year. It's a hydrogen water machine, and apparently it's supposed to add hydrogen into the water so that it oxidizes less and has like a plethora of beneficial things for your body, lowering blood pressure. And
they're trying to make exclusion zone water by adding extra hydrogen to make H3O2, which is called exclusion zone water. Let the buyer beware. Right now, there is a patent that is on using microwave band to actually restructure the water to make it exclusion zone water. As to whether there are filters or gimmicks or electrolysis things that are done to do that, I don't know. I have just taking water and running it through a funnel so that when you put it in the jar you're going to drink, it goes into the jar that you carry in a vertical. It doesn't go straight in. It centrifuges, like because of Coriolis forces. That is enough to structure it. You don't need gimmicks or gizmos. You can do it just by yourself. Also, pray over it while you're doing it. Intent seemingly is imprinted into the memory of water. Now, how that physics works, that's what I'm writing about right now. Stay tuned. Film at 11. I'm not sure. I have ideas, but, at this juncture, what we're looking at is repeatable and reproducible events. You can determine if the water is exclusion zone water because it will have a sense of blueness about it. That's the extra hydrogen. And the way it will show up, oxygen is blue. It's a physics thing. Anyway, that's all I can say about this at that time. There's a lot of gizmos out there. Let the buyer beware.
All right. Well, I was planning on coming to your event in Hollywood. Maybe, are you traveling with a microscope?
No, that's two different travels. I'm going down to Hollywood March 18th, 19th, and 20th to do an urban survival skills workshop for the constituents of the city of Hollywood. The town council voted on it, bringing Matt and I in to prepare that city. Right now, it's interesting. Harley Davidson Canada has contacted me about the possibility of doing the same thing, promoting Harley Davidsons as we go across Canada. As trying to get people to pay attention to the water they're drinking and the food that they're growing. Now, we're in a new world.
Open to the public?
I'm sorry?
Is it open to the public? Can the public?
The Friday
go to that?
is, yes. The Saturday and Sunday are workshops, and I think there are something like $100 for the 2 days, $50 a day for Matt and I.
All right. Well, I'm
He
only
does 8 hours, and then I do. And then Friday night is open, and right now I heard they have as many as 600 people are coming. There's a lot of people interested. Kerry Cassidy is going to come in and interview people randomly on why they're there. That's where the real story is. Why everybody now is thinking about this. That's what's important. And everybody's different, has different reason for why they want to prepare.
All right.
Rick.
Well, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, have a
Rick,
good day.
Laura from California drove out with her daughters.
Oh, that's that, Laura. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. She's cool. Yeah, she's cool.
So I'm going to come see you up there if I can. I'm going to.
Okay, that's cool. I enjoyed you. Was it Indianapolis? Where
she drove out to
RK Gun Show. You came to one of the gun shows with Matt. Matt and I thought.
No, I came to the expo.
Oh, it was Vincent's place. That's right.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to try to work on getting up there to see you in Hollywood. I wouldn't like to.
Oh, I like your daughter. I think you're doing a great job with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Laura.
I didn't know that was that, Laura.
You know, Laura calls me with concerns that she has. She's become faculty at USA Prepare. She drove out with her 2 daughters from California to Missouri, a couple 1,000-mile trip each way, and then she stayed over. She was in your workshop with Matt at the Get Prepared Expo, and then she stayed over to be at the meetup on the following Monday night. So that's the Laura we're talking about. Laura from California.
That Laura. He has a carte blanche. If she gets to Hollywood, she can crash anything she likes that I'm doing.
Well, I have a feeling she will be there, and she may bring her daughters.
It's not about money. Yeah.
She's a fabulous person. She called. She's the one who broke the $1,000 water bill in California. She called us and let us know that was happening. Rick, I'd like to broach this subject delicately. Now, here's let's do it this way. I believe that based on some of the internet posts I'm reading, that romance is down in the United States for sure. Romance is down. And I'm wondering if this is a technique for population reduction through radio frequency transmissions, meaning there's enough radio frequency to discourage guys and girls from being intimate, husbands, wives, and so forth, and thereby reducing population. Sperm count is way, way down, almost to the point where we may cause extinction. What do you think about that? Is that a possibility?
It's probable, and that's the other part of it. If it's in your imagination and you're only in 4th grade, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So the towers are surrounding you. And I remember your line of sight thing. So that's how you do it. You break the line of sight and you've dropped it. Just kidding.
Rick, when we were pouring a concrete foundation for our home here in Missouri, one of the guys said, as we were pouring the concrete, he said, this concrete is guaranteed. And I said, and he said, well, it's like all concrete. It's guaranteed to crack. Now, and that's what happens. You look at sidewalks, you look at highways, you look at foundation. Yeah, concrete is guaranteed to crack. And the reason they put steel in it, or reinforced bars of steel, is because the coefficient of expansion is the same for the steel as the concrete, and so the steel doesn't cause the concrete to crack. It just kind of keeps it from falling over or separating farther. So here's the whole point of this discussion, Rick. If concrete is guaranteed to crack, and we make nuclear vessels, nuclear reactor containment buildings and so forth, and the floors of these nuclear reactors out of concrete, and it's guaranteed to crack, it's also guaranteed to have leaks, right?
I don't know, man. I just work here. You know what I mean?
That's really.
I just work here. I don't. The whole thing's crazy.
You know, I got
on consumerism and timed wear out, so you have to replace it, and more consumer. It's like coneheads. I loved it.
Rick, I got a call from Nicole Beninati, and she's this gal who lives down the road from us. And the police came and they aimed their AR-15s at her husband Jeremy, and we're doing a special on what happened and what can happen if you're if your neighbor calls 911 on you and makes up things, and then the SWAT team shows up. So we're going to talk about that. But so she called her state representative, who's our state representative, Tony Duggar, and we gave out his phone number on the air, and she got no help from him. And here's the whole point of that. So he's not helping her. Well, he knows everyone he needs to call in order to help remedy this situation for the Beninati family, but he's not doing it. He's not willing to do that. And let me give you an example, class. That would be like me looking out from the side of my truck, seeing someone stranded on our road with a flat tire, and the guy saying to me, "Hey, can you help me?" And I go, No, I'm a farmer. I don't change people's tires. You need a tow truck. Or, you know, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about not helping each other. And that's what government minions do. They're not willing to help each other. Imagine going to a line at the Division of Motor Vehicles, and you wait in line, you wait, and finally it's your turn. They go, "What are you doing in this line? You need to be over there in the other line. You're in the wrong line." They don't say, "I'll tell you what, let me help you." They say, "You're in the wrong line." They throw you out. That's what we've become. We've got Kyle in Montana. Welcome, Kyle. Oh, I should have looked at the clock. Hey, Kyle, can you hold on through the break, and we'll put you on right after the break. Okay, we've got Kyle in Montana, Dr. Richard Allen Miller, and I've just lost my temper. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Today, more than ever, it's imperative that you protect your digital privacy. EDEC Digital Forensics, Signal Blocking, Anti-Radiation, Anti-Surveillance Faraday Bags shield the contents of your phones, tablets, and key fobs from 4G, Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, NFC, and more. Find us at edecdf.com/radio or call us now at 805-222-4584. That's 805-222-4584. Radio listeners get 20% off your order.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, docram.com, docram.com. And Rick, you've got an event on Friday. Can you tell us very quickly about it? And then we've got Kyle.
Yeah, that's Nick. Yeah, Nick Begich is speaking at the Oregon Blue Skies Project. It meets in Ashland on Friday nights. And they've had a number of other speakers. Tomorrow night will be, Friday night will be Nick's turn. Yes, this is Thursday. I'm losing track of time. It starts at 7 o'clock. It's open to the public and goes to 9. And it's going to be held at the library. It has a huge enough facility. That's where I spoke. I had about 150 people. So, there people turn out, and Nick will be talking about HARP and its potentials with weather modification and weather control. I don't have a clue what is going on here, but and even just local is wrong. We hear about different police forces. We've got one here in Grants Pass that's into weird stuff. And
I just posted
the court systems here. The court systems are terrible.
I just posted an article on the USA Prepares about 2 cops reportedly raping and demanding sex. Okay, Kyle in Montana, welcome.
Good morning, Vince and Dr. Miller. I got a couple of things. I got 2 guarantees when the guy poured in my basement, Vince. He says one guarantee is that concrete cracks, and the second guarantee is that nobody's going to steal it.
That's about right. Yep. And now they have a new foam concrete that they're putting other material in it that makes it lighter and stronger.
Yep.
We're using that now for geodesic domes. I think it's called foam concrete.
Yeah, I've actually heard of that. But I'm wondering if you guys had heard about the new study that they just done. It guaranteed that if you have 2 pieces of bacon a day, you are guaranteed not to be a suicide bomber.
You gotta love it. You just have to stay humorous about the whole thing, because if you get serious, by the way, the movie I posted is called Amerigeddon. It's Americageddon. And it's a new movie that's coming out shortly, and wait till you see how it plays with Homeland Security. you know.
Yeah, it's on your website. It's on your website, docram.com, docram.com. Kyle, any other thoughts?
Well, one last thing. Yesterday, when you were talking about the battery situation, I almost called in, but people, when you live off the grid, there's one thing to remember. You live and die by the amp. And so that's how people can really check and make sure that, you know, they're going to be able to make whatever it is, the system that they put in, handle what they're trying to live on.
Yep. And when you say amp, that's AMP, short for ampere. It's a measure of current. Yep.
You bet.
You're absolutely right.
That's it.
Thank you,
Have
Kyle.
a great day, guys.
You too.
Thank you. You bet.
That's USAPrepares.com instructor Kyle Harris in Montana, who has plenty of experience living off the grid. Rick, Fukushima is a concern. The electromagnetic radiation is a concern. Do you have a concern that's in the fore of your mind that we need to be paying attention to at this time?
Well, geoengineering is now using other propellants for a multitude of other delivery systems, including vaccines and narcotics to drug down a city that's in unrest. Now they're hijacking our air.
Mm-hmm. And, I have a concern as well about, all these compounds that we're breathing, the aluminum, the metals that are entering our system, and then the ability for these electromagnetic wavelengths and pulses and frequencies to excite them even further, enhance the ability to deliver mind control and death and destruction and disease.
There's another term, biological amplification in your body. Certain ones will resonate, and that's your scalar thing.
Man. So you're saying that's I'm right on worrying about this.
Bands will actually amplify in your body because of the way it sets up resonance.
Rick, thanks so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Dr. Richard L. Miller, thanks so much. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better made to